The world champions, the Springboks, set to make a triumphant return to South Africa this morning after the historic win against the All Blacks at the Rugby World Cup, of course, on Saturday. The Boks snatching the Web Ellis trophy from the clutches of defeat with a nail-biting one-point victory against their out-rivals, New Zealand. We're watching the story from a number of vantage points for you. And so let's take you now live to OR Tambo International Airport, where we find both our colleagues, Benjamin Leshoro and Michelle Craig, where, as you mentioned earlier, Benjamin, it is the calm before the storm, but I imagine great anticipation ahead of 10:55.
Yeah, great anticipation indeed, Michelle. We have been looking at the place, and there's some who have thought, look, it's a wet Johannesburg this morning, so let's make our way to the airport early enough to be able to get space, and that's important. There will be space needed. There'll be very limited places that you can stand to see the team walk through that door there. Terminal A arrivals a little bit later on at around 11:15 or so, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning to our viewers once again. While you're getting ready for work, a number of people have taken off from work today. I want to give you a sense. Our cameraman Leshoro will give us a sense of the airport. Look, it's quite empty still now, but what I can tell you is since we've been here from about 5 this morning, we've seen a lot of people do a coffee run. There are a lot of people sort of above there in the second and third floors of the airport getting their spots. You can see that they're going to be there for the morning as they wait for the Boks to arrive. And I can just imagine, Benjamin, in a few hours' time, what this airport is going to look like. As you said, the doors behind us here, Terminal A, that's where the boys will be arriving from. I mean, I can't wait. The electricity is already in the air.
Michelle, I was here in 2019 when the Springboks won the World Cup, and we get to repeat the experience. Some of us get to relive the experience, and if that time is anything to go by, around about 9 o'clock, there'll already be singing that's going on, Amagwijo as some might call them, and by the time the team arrives, there'll hardly be space to move. You will, even us, will struggle to get our mics in to talk to whoever we need to talk to. So it is going to be absolutely amazing to be here. The atmosphere I'm expecting, even up there, in the other floors of the airport, it's going to be amazing today.
So if you are able to make your way to the airport this morning, if you're able to negotiate the morning off, I want to give you some advice in just a moment of how train trips that are going to be free this morning to and from the airport between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. But before we give you that bit of advice, Benjamin, I think it's important that we reflect. The singing's already started there behind you. But I think it's important for us to reflect on the journey, right, that the Springboks have taken to getting to where they were on Saturday when that final whistle blew. And it was not an easy 7 weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. They played grueling matches. I think the only match that the Springboks can admittedly say was relatively easy was the Romania match during the pool stages. But everything else was tough. I don't think there's a team who had a tougher route to the final than the Springboks in the World Cups that have been played. Even the All Blacks in this World Cup, to get to the final where they played the Springboks, they had an easier route than them. And as we all know, during the knockout stages, all of us at some point thought, okay, that's it, we're out.
Yeah, we thought it was over.
We thought it was over, but somehow they found it in them. And that's the inspirational thing about this team of the Springboks, this crop of players, that never say die attitude. And they inspire the nation in a whole lot of ways that are indescribable. Really, they have done what transcends sport.
You know, as you're saying that, I feel myself getting a little bit teary, right? And we felt the weight of that match leading up to Saturday. What a win would have meant for us. We felt it last week as we were building up to that big match final on Saturday, and we felt it in the moment when that final whistle blew. It's incredible, Benjamin. I mean, we know this, right? Madiba said as much. It's incredible to see how sport has yet again done almost the impossible in a context where we're facing so many pressures in our country, that we've been able to rally around this group of players.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Michelle, it's in a sport that a lot of people might have associated with apartheid. What separated, what segregated South Africa in the past, ironically, has been the one sporting code that unites the nation the most. And credit also to the late Nelson Mandela. He worked with Francois Pina in 1995 when they won their first one to say, listen, I know that there is a certain constituency that I need to get, so to speak, to make sure that the nation unites. And he did that. And fast forward to 2023, there's 4 titles, and the Springboks have gotten, I'll say, black African fans. That is not something to be taken for granted. It was not always like this, and there's a reason. There's a whole community that supported the All Blacks in the final, because that's what they were used to. But the Springboks have been absolutely amazing. And one of the stories for me, Michelle, of this World Cup that I take home and I think about so many times is the story of Andre Pollard. Andre Pollard, a month ago, was watching the World Cup with us here at home. And how crucial has he been then to the Springboks in the knockout stages? And had Malcolm Marx not been injured, Andre Pollard would never have been on the plane to Paris and played such crucial roles in all those knockout matches.
I mean, arguably he was the decider, right? And of course, Siya Kolisi, 2-time World Cup winning captain. We heard his name ringing through the stadium in Paris on Saturday. Siyamthanda Kolisi, and no doubt we will hear it again when the boys arrive, 10:55. I promised you that information about the Gautrain. So yeah, if you're leaving from Sandton, I believe it's Park Station and Midrand, you can get a free Gautrain ride to the airport from 10 o'clock, and I believe you can get a free ride back home from around 3 o'clock. We'll get you those details, get it up on our screens, and we'll be talking to you throughout the morning, right here from our live position at OR Tambo International Airport. For now, Ayanda, it's back to you guys in the studio.
Groaning with anticipation. That's certainly the sentiment for much of this morning. Keep safe as you enjoy the festivities there at OR Tambo International Airport. Michelle Craig and Benjamin Leshoro certainly will touch base with you throughout the course of the morning.